work and rework your hair with the UK's #1 styling product, VO5 Extreme Style Rework. Break the mold.
Fallout 3 is huge, and we're not just talking about anticipation and hype. Set after the global atomic war of 2077, you're born into an anti-nuclear vault in the former Washington, D.C. area in a post-nuclear dystopia with 1950s American stylings. After an impressive tutorial and character creation level, which takes you on a journey through key moments of your childhood, up to the point where your scientist father goes on the run from the vault, with you fleeing close behind, you're plunged into an incredibly impressive open-world stage of wasteland, shanty towns and urban centres. This is all backed up by an incredible attention to detail in appearance that gives the whole thing a sense of reality that was unexpected on this scale. And a wealth of things to do, whether you want to follow the main plot and track down your father, do your own thing busying yourself with side quests or general exploration, or a mix of the two. Even just talking to everyone you encounter will take you hours. The game is rich in well-written dialogue and has been populated with a bevy of rounded and developed characters. But it's not just talking and fetch quests. Oh yes, there are mutants and feral dogs. Fallout 3 will also challenge your conscience, with the options available to do some pretty nasty things to people. Even the bullying you encounter in the tutorial level inside the vault gives it a dark edge, and things only get worse from there, with the option to become really evil if you choose. And the game responds to your moral choices admirably. You have a karma meter which, combined with NPCs' own moral predilections, will determine how characters treat you. Your actions will also affect you in other ways. For example, harassing a shopkeeper whose wares you rely on might bite you in the arse if they get fed up and decide to leave town. On a more micro level, then the game occasionally doesn't register things. For example, I picked a lock to a bar and the guy inside just started chatting to me as if I'd walked in invited. But in general, people react to you pretty realistically and will ask you what you're doing if you just sit down and hack their computer in front of them. Although your character alignment responds to how you play, your levelling doesn't, and in an impressively deep yet comprehensible system that will no doubt be much more popular than Oblivion's, you can choose the spread of your attribute, skill point and perk allocations. The amount of choice available gives an impressive amount of variety to the kinds of characters you can create, and consequently to the different types of gameplay experience available. This is backed up by the range of moral choices and also by the wide range of dialogue options available, giving you a sense that your character really is unique. Combat will take a little getting used to at first, but that's because the awesome Vault-Tec Assisted Targeting System, or VATS for short, brings something new to the table, allowing you to blend real-time stat-based combat and turn-based combat instead of trotting out the usual FPS fare. You can pause combat and allocate a certain number of action points per round, targeting specific body parts, your choice depending on the likelihood of hitting, displayed as a percentage, and the effect you want to create. Do you want them to stop running, make them drop their gun, or just do the maximum amount of damage? This specific targeting, as well as making combat look fantastic, gives it much more of a narrative feel compared to the twitch play you get in FPS or the stats and specials-based play of other RPGs. In general, the game world looks great, but it is let down a little bit by its character animation, which has clunky, unrealistic movement and poor lip syncing. Frustratingly, this means the third-person view is rather hideous, unless you happen to like the idea of playing a lurching Quasimodo-type character. You'll also notice a few frame rate drops and the occasional bug, but in general, considering how much is going on, it performs admirably. Okay, so there's quite a lot that we haven't had time to talk about, and it's really difficult to express just how much there is to this game in a short review. The main storyline could take you 20 hours to complete, and that's if you rush, but there's so much in the world that you could easily spend 100 hours in the game if you wanted to explore everything. And because of the variety of play style and character choices given by the deep RPG elements, replayability value is also really high, and the quality of the experience is such that you will want to replay it. This is going to be a real contender for Game of the Year. It's exciting, well presented, thought-provoking, and definitely earns each of its 5 stars.